Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai with the Scramble for the Far East mod. Last time around, I think this was actually the battle we had. 67, yes. Victory of the Prussians. The Prussians came out of the woods, attacked us. It was a very bloody battle. We ended up on top, and later on I moved in and I took the castle. Most of the sieges I don't show, mostly because I move very slowly and methodically to limit the losses. And the battles drag on for at least 30 minutes, which would take up the entire episode. And instead, what I probably should do is I should save the replay and just do like a very quick overrun over most of it. Like just show some of the visuals. I know I did that for one of the videos I did, where I showed 2 sieges. Anyways, we marched on and then taken the capital. Now I'm pretty sure I was mistaken in my idea that it was locked to this area, and so they couldn't recruit elite troops from any other area. Like it would be actually locked to the Niigata territory. I think it's locked to the capital because they probably are able to recruit guards down here. So I'm not entirely sure why I thought that, but I think it's due to how it's played in what's it called? Napoleon Total War 3, where it's locked to specific areas. So I thought it was locked to this specific area, but I guess it's just locked to the capital. Since then, I had my spies figure out what's up in the north, and that's nothing right now. Looks like they are building something up here. They've got marines and a 6-pounder, so they might be building something. I'm a little bit worried though to split the armies, given that it is the Prussians we are facing. Otherwise I would send one north and have one go south, but what I could do is I could hold one here at Niigata while one marches north and tries to sort of claim most of the north here. Got some reinforcements marching in, so this is what's happening up here. Got my assassins running back and forth trying to figure out. I should also say here that after I took the town, I was able to get a ceasefire treaty with the Prussians. It held 1 turn, but it did one important thing, because I was able, in the treaty, to force Prussia to renounce their allegiance, their alliance with the Netherlands. So once war started up again, 1 turn later, the Prussians joined in. They were forced then to declare war on the Dutch. So now the Dutch and the Prussians should have opened up a front over here. I'm hoping the Dutch are coming up on top here. I'm not entirely sure. The problem here for the Dutch now is they have to face the German Navy as well. Luckily they have a lot of these ports, military ports in this area, which are blasting the Prussian navies. So I'm hoping the Dutch are gonna come on top on this naval conflict. Hopefully at some point here I'll have enough of my own fleet that I'll be able to send to aid and kind of clear the Dutch water so they can go on the offensive. Right now, of course, if the enemy places a fleet, they will cut off this piece of land that the Dutch own. So it could be that we'll see Niigata fall to the Prussians. However, it might be likely that the Prussians are sending their troops north to fight me in my incursion, so that there's nothing here, which would be the preferable choice, that the Dutch would control both sides of this strait, as a lot of enemy navies passes through, and they would be hit by these the bombardment of these ports, destroying. They're very powerful, especially the high tier ports. They really destroy navies. So that's what's going on there. As we had a peace treaty with the Prussians, a temporarily one. That means that all the Prussian forces within my territory had to leave. So some of them went here. I imagine some of it was forced up north. So there's no troops behind enemy lines anymore, or behind my lines anymore. And I mean, this geisha has continuously confused the commander of this relief force, which I was sending south, or I was going to send it north, or I was going to send it now south. And she was constantly, and it was really getting on my nerves. And I realized, you know what? What if I split them into 1,000 pieces? She could only possibly go ahead and seduce the commander of one of these units. She can't sleep with them all. So that's what I did, and now the entire thing is on the move. Yay! I figured that out after I don't know how many turns of them being stuck right outside here. Also, we're finally refurbishing the hotel that burnt down like 2 years ago or something, when someone blew it up. Some Prussian bastard, Prussian assassin. Down in the south, I've been able to gather some troops around. We've taken out Marlowe. We assassinated that idiot, and we're moving on the Americans now. So there's one broken down American army here. Lots of cannons. Could be nice to capture some of them if they're all 6-pounder colonials. God awful. None of those, but this, the 10-inch mortar, I would love to capture that. They are bringing up reinforcements, so we've got one smaller force coming in, but then also their new faction leader and another stack is coming up. This one laden heavily with artillery, which also would be nice to capture. So a new faction leader is coming in. It's got a lot of generals, I imagine, because if it's a general turns up here, that means there's a general here as well. So it's 3 commanders embedded in this army. So it would be a nice strike against the Americans to cut all them down. It's interesting how the new commander looks exactly the same as the last one. So I guess he's a twin, just by different family, because it's a different last name. So what we're going to do today is we're going to push down here against the Americans. Hopefully we'll be able to get across, although I doubt it, and take this before the Americans push forward. What we will be able to do, though, is we'll hopefully be able to clear out the final remnants of that massive army that came north and defeated us at the Battle of Edo in March of 1867. So we'll start off by having Dmitri go ahead and attack this army right here, while this force under the traitor, Chaplain Gordon, will be moving to deal with this force over here. So let's go ahead and start by attacking Stuart Winston. He falls back, which is good. We want them to fall back. I'm going to move up a little bit closer here. And let's strike him again. So definitely in my favor. Still could be difficult. Cavalry could pose a problem if they go head on, just charge out as they usually do, and if I don't take proper precautions to prepare against that. Yes. Let's go ahead and fight the battle. And this is the field of battle. We've got a valley in between 2 wooded hills. The Americans are situated somewhere in this wooded area. I imagine that they have positioned themselves more to the right. I'm not entirely sure why I think that, just because we've seen that before. Also, that's kind of where I want them to go, out into the open. We're gonna hold off to see if the Americans move forward, or if we're gonna have to move into the forest to meet them. The American howitzer set up right here, ready to blast the enemy. And then the 12-pounders up on the hill, firing on them. Single Cossack units hidden over here. General over there.
The men are ready to attack, sir.
Not necessarily focusing most of the weight on the right, as I thought. There is quite a bit of cavalry over there. And then there's one on this side. We do have the possibility to deploy stakes. We should toggle guard mode. What I want to do is I want to set up so when they come, we should have a flanking unit. Let's move in units of 3. And move these guys a little bit more forward. And then we have one unit in between. Where, we might need more units on this side to cover a possible American attack. So into column and quickly march across the field to that side. Well, really what I should do is I should do this. The ground isn't very favorable here, so we'll actually have to pull back up onto the high ground. And then these will move to stand kind of below the cannon. And then these units will take a position there instead. So we'll hold with these 3 brigades. And then these 2 will flank. This one will start the flank. And this one will continue once the Americans kind of break. Right now the Americans are holding in the woods. I really don't want to advance since they've got the cavalry advantage and we could quickly get overwhelmed and swarmed by the Americans. So I would really wait. There's still a lot of cavalry that we haven't been seeing. So far it's 2 units on this side and then there's the 1 general unit on this side. But they had plenty more cavalry, which I expect is hidden in the woods ready to pounce on us. Maybe I should order some units in the back to deploy stakes to prepare against possible cavalry charges. I have this sneaking suspicion that the stakes do kind of block musket or the shots, small arm shots. So I kind of don't want to deploy it in front of where I'm firing. The Americans are taking their time. Would be nice to have maybe something out here in the open. I do have time here to quickly deploy. So some. And then on the way far out here, we might just have enough time to go ahead and deploy some of this to cover just in case. Okay, now the Americans are out in the open and marching against us. Heavy concentration toward the center. What we'll do is we'll put the line together and then I'll select fire by rank, and they are actually leaving themselves a little bit open here from a flank fire. If I position myself better, starting to shoot down the cavalry. This probably actually works better at shooting down cavalry as well when you select fire by rank, because the first rank, like, you don't spend all your bullets at the first enemy unit that comes in contact with you. Let's see, I want to redirect the howitzers on the conscripts, and then I want to push in these 3 We've got somewhere in the back covering. A lot of my troops were the lines were upset as the Americans moved forward with their cavalry, so I'm actually gonna pull them back and regroup. Now I don't have any reserves here, but that's fine. I'm gonna send over my general. He's do have revolvers, so he can shoot down what's left of these, and then let's just inspire the guys to keep them fighting. We lost quite a lot of manpower here in the first. Go ahead, shoot him down. Great, now they're dead. Station him in the woods in the back. All the American cavalry is now gone. I'm gonna push in my cavalry. The Americans are very weak on the left, so my flank maneuver here is not gonna happen. Instead, we're gonna flank on the other side. It's quite a lot of difficult terrain on this side, though. Single American unit getting trashed. Once it's gone, we'll move up quite far. And then I'll move the Cossacks through the forest to cover them from American shot. So the line is holding. Where we want to hit is... I think we want to hit these. I think we could break a lot from getting in there. Also, I think that a lot of times I want to hit them straight from the rear. However, they can do like a 180 really quick, and I think I should do coming from the side instead, because they can't as easily turn to face that side.
Victory is assured, sir.
And with that one cavalry charge, it kind of broke up everything, and we can see the American center has just absolutely collapsed. And soon the rest of the American army is to follow. Such a nice change of pace fighting the Americans compared to the Prussians. The Prussians can absolutely slaughter us, where units can be completely destroyed before I even know they're under fire. The initial charge of the Americans were quite devastating, though. Let's make sure that not a lot of these guys are escaping. What kind of cannon is going here? It's a 6-pounder. Nothing I'm interested in. The artillery will hold fire, and the battle is won. I imagine there's a cannon in the back somewhere that is... there we go, now we are victorious. Let's go ahead then, because we have time to get the other battle going as well. Here's the result of the battle, a much more pleasant read than what's happening in the north against the Prussians, and what happened against the Americans before here. We inflicted 200 casualties on the or 2,000 casualties, I should say, on the Americans, while only suffering about 1,000, actually 1,200 to be exact. Only 400 Americans are remaining, while we still retain a force of 2,600. Highest kills goes to the Don Cossack. No surprise, they rode down 528 Americans. And then for the infantry, it's quite pitiful, with 133 in top. And then falling through. Now, artillery bombardment looks quite devastating, but it certainly isn't in terms of actual casualties they are inflicting. 31 is the highest for them. So not that impressive. However, I think the important thing about them is the morale shock and the reduction of morale they give the enemy troops. But I should probably reduce the amount of cannons that I have. Should really pursue and destroy that force, but we get into enemy territory then, and I won't be able to replenish. And I think since we'll be replenishing 41 men per turn, that's pretty darn good, and I would rather have those 41 men distributed through all these units. That would almost be 400 men, I think. Not all lost enough to replace 41, but that's a lot of troops, so I'd rather have 400 men than destroy this pitiful force. So we're not going to follow them across to absolutely destroy them. Here's the second one. Key here is I want to capture this mortar. So I think we'll might be a little bit more bold. I don't have enough troops really, but maybe I can surround them and then bayonet charge everything. With that, oh, they fall back and they fall out of range of me. What we'll do is we'll end turn, we'll see if this one moves forward, and maybe I'll fight them, or if they consolidate all of this, we'll fight them. And also rearrange a bit of troops and so on. So let's go ahead and end turn, shall we? Not a lot of important stuff happened during that end turn. The Americans pulled back a lot of forces. They left one though, so I should really push forward and attack that one. And then follow up with attack towards the town. I was able to go ahead and disable this one or distract them, so they're gonna sit there for one turn. Should be able to take this one out by combining these forces, or I should really attack with just one, otherwise these might fall back. So I'd rather fight them here than have them consolidate with the rest, and we'll end up with a bigger battle similar to what we had last time we fought here in the big battle, and we lost. So I don't think we want to do that again. We're going to try and harass the guy. It would be nice if it actually said how many people died or what unit got affected by their harassment. I think this marine unit got harassed, and this one's down to 6. Some of the cannons as well. We're going to go ahead and assassinate this honey trap. 95% chance. Doesn't get any better. And boom, she's gone. Is he almost? He's almost at the 6-star level. Super assassin. Bringing in reinforcements. So we got additional troops coming in. Plus I'm bringing in the troops from up here. They're moving down to join in. Not entirely sure why the enemy is so sitting around just distracting the garrisons back here. So the Prussians are really distracting this one, and we've got an American sitting just constantly distracting this one. They're not attacking here, so I'm not entirely sure why they're even trying. Nothing really happened up here. The Prussians haven't moved forward. So I think I'm going to go ahead with my plans. We're going to send one general north while another one just holds here. And this will be the landing ground for the big reinforcement army that hopefully will be coming in. A Prussian navy did turn up off the shore here, so I'll have to try and sink that. They tried to bombard the port, but that one held, so that was nice. So we'll be attacking them, sinking them. Should really... I need a lot more fleet to protect the area, but also as I bring across the army, I'm probably gonna have to bring them across in multiple ships, because you can only carry 20 for each fleet. So I definitely need as many of these as possible. Also, as soon as I can, I should really go ahead and get ramming, because I realized that I lose quite a lot of ironclads to enemy ramming. And another note is the amount of different classes seems quite unnecessary for most of these. Like some of these, it's really hard to tell the difference in between like what they're good at. So in the terms of the Russians, they have 4 different classes, but in actual theory, there is really only 2 ones. So it's the ones that are able to fire the traditional explosive the armor-piercing one, and the normal shot, and then there's the one that kind of fires the old kind of shot, which can fire a grape shot, and so on. And they're virtually identical ships otherwise, except for the different cannons. So I don't see the necessity of having 4 different ones. It kind of just makes it a little bit messy, and when you have such a... I mean, this one goes down for 3 levels full of different ships. And a lot of them are just the exact same ship, but they have different name. I don't know if the stats changed that much. Doesn't seem like it. So that seems a little bit redundant, like there's too many of them. Other than that, I think that's it. So for next video, we'll be attacking these guys, taking them out. And we'll also prepare to go north to take out, hopefully, quite painfully, or quite painlessly, I should say, take out all of this in the north. In terms of victory conditions, we need another 12 regions. And if we look what we have up north, there are 5 regions up north that we can capture, and if we decide to launch an attack here, there's an additional 5. So that would then I would only need 2. And if maybe I save enough, I don't think I can save. I wish I could get the Dutch to be my vassal. I should really, yeah, another thing, I should really take a look at where exactly the British and the French faction is, where they started, because I really want to go in and make them, re-establish them, but as my vassals. I think that would be really interesting. But for now, this is what you get for this episode. So I say, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.
Your general is under attack! Victory is assured, sir!